So for this video, we will be looking at setting up your budget page in the supplemental worksheets. You've already at this point will have tracked all of your expenses and you identify the categories that you will be spending money on. So all of your obligatory expenses or your fixed expenses, as well as your variable expenses or your living costs, and then ultimately deciding as a couple, how much you're going to budget for each of these categories. So I'll run down this pretty quick. You essentially only have two columns to fill out on this page. So the first one above this thick black line, all of these would be where you would type in the things that you pay, your monthlies, your bills and such. So for example, John and Sarah have insurance that they have to pay, and they have rent, and they have car payments. Maybe they have more than one. They have student loans. They have credit card. They have heat, water and sewage. There's electricity. There's cable. There's cell phone bills. And there's, let's just say, gym membership that they know they pay each month. Now below this bottom line here, and again, with those fixed categories, every person is going to be a little bit different. If you have car payments, if you have more than one, it might make sense to list them out separately. If you have multiple student loans, you might want to list them up as well. But if they're all combined into one payment, you could do that as well. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. You might have daycare or child costs or something that comes out monthly as well, and you can decide to put those in as fixed expenses because you know you'll be obligated to pay them each month if you'd like. So below the bottom line where our living costs are, the variable expenses, I would recommend going with what has worked for us, but again, you can identify whatever categories you want. But the four that we use are groceries, dining, our just because money, and unforeseen expenses we combine into one, but again, you could separate those if you'd like. You can also call JB instead of just because, you could say cash. You can call it fun money. Again, this is something to make your own. And then we do gasoline. So those would be the four categories that have worked for us over the last several years. And now you have your categories identified. So once you've written all of these out, you then go over to the right side and you decide what is budgeted. Now, some of these you don't have a say on. For example, your rent might be $1,500, and you know or your mortgage, every single month, $1,500 gets pulled out of your account. A lot of these top column ones are easy. So you might have insurance, which is $125. Your car payments add up to, we'll say 525. Your student loan payments are, I don't know, 400. Your credit card is about $100 a month. Your heat is 125. Water and sewage might be somewhere around $50. Electricity, we'll call it 80. Cable 125, and cell phone is $100. Your gym membership is only $25. And then once you get down through the last four, this is where you guys have to agree on what you're going to spend. So groceries is usually pretty easy. Typically people go a couple times a month or once a week, so you probably have an idea of how much you spend on groceries. But the whole point here is you can cut your budget even easier on these expenses. So, maybe $400 a month works well for your family, for your groceries. And dining, you might be going out a lot right now, but you've decided that you're going to cut back on that a little bit, and it's going to be $300 per month. And your just because money could be somewhere in between, around 350, and maybe unfortunately you have a long commute to your jobs like I do, and you're spending a lot of money on gasoline, and it's about $500 per month that you are deciding to spend or to budget. So once you finish this page, you'll see here that this will end up being your total budget for the month. That's $4,705. And ultimately, what you're looking at two things. The most important is to make sure that you will be able to bring in the income each month that will cover that $4,700. And you'll see here with John and Sarah, their lowest month of income, which happens the most frequently, which I recommend is what you would look at, is $5,100. So there's a $400 cushion there in your month, in those months. The only thing I would say is the second thing would be, if you don't like the idea of only bringing in $400 more than what you are budgeting for yourself, you could cut your budget right now, but at least you have a cushion. Because the biggest thing is, once you pay off your debts, which include these car payments and student loans and credit cards, or even if you pay off your home, these payments are going to go away, which is going to make your budget go significantly down. So in the interim period, the most important thing is just to make sure that that you'll have a little bit of a buffer where you're going to be bringing in more money than you're going to be taking out. And that's going to get you started where you'll be able to start saving and doing some things from there.